Have you ever experienced that constant feeling that you are falling short, as if no matter what you do, you are just not measuring up to the expectations or standards set by others or even yourself? That sinking feeling when you scroll through social media or look around and wonder, why is not my life like theirs? You see someone's perfect vacation, their dream home, or their career success, and all of a sudden you start to question your own worth and journey. We have all been there. In today's world, it's impossible not to compare. Social media floods us with a curated version of other people's lives. But behind those perfect photos and posts, there are real challenges, setbacks, and struggles that you are not seeing. So why do we keep comparing ourselves to these highlights? Every time you start to think, I am not enough, you are ignoring the beautiful, imperfect story that you have been living. But why does it feel so difficult to embrace where we are in life? Why do we let the achievements of others cloud our view of our own success? At the root of all comparison is insecurity. It stems from feeling like you need to meet a certain standard to be accepted, loved, or valued. Society feeds this idea by glorifying success, beauty, and status, making it easy to believe that if you don't measure up, you are somehow lacking. But the reality is, comparison does not serve you. It keeps you stuck in a loop of dissatisfaction and envy, always looking at someone else's life and wishing for a different one. What makes matters worse is that the person you are comparing yourself to may not even be content with their own life. Instead of focusing on your own progress, you get sidetracked by someone else's version of success. The problem is, when you compare yourself to someone else, you are not taking into account their own unique journey, their own struggles, or their own story. So let's pause for a moment. What if I told you that comparison is an unfair and ultimately pointless battle? Because in the end, no matter how hard you try, you will always feel like you are losing. Why? Because you are comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. You are only seeing the perfect version of their life and ignoring the messy parts that you do not see. Think about it. Have you ever posted a picture of yourself looking great or shared something about your life when everything was going perfectly? Of course you have. But how many times have you shared the struggles, the setbacks, or the tough moments? Not often, right? It is not just you. Almost everyone does the same thing. Celebrating your progress, no matter how small, is what will keep you moving forward with purpose. That's why comparing yourself to others is dangerous. You are not comparing two full lives. You are comparing the full picture of your life with a tiny, edited snippet of someone else's. Now, think about how much energy you spend comparing yourself to others. How often do you scroll through social media and feel that sinking feeling? How many times do you look at someone else's accomplishments, their family, their career, or their lifestyle, and think, I wish I had that? Here's the thing, when you are constantly comparing yourself to others, you are ignoring your own achievements, no matter how small or big they might be. Instead of focusing on how far you have come, you get stuck in a cycle of wishing and longing for things that are not even yours to begin with. Instead of focusing on what you do not have, start recognizing everything you've already accomplished. When was the last time you took a moment to appreciate your own hard work, your growth, and everything you have achieved so far? Let's talk about breaking the cycle of comparison. First and foremost, it starts with shifting your focus. Stop looking outside and start looking inside. What do you want for your life? What goals do you want to achieve? What truly makes you happy? When you focus on your own desires and your own journey, you will realize that there is no one else you need to measure up to. You do not need to chase someone else's version of success. Focus on building the life that you want, based on your own values and passions. When you take the time to really look inward, you will realize that you are on your own path, and that's exactly where you need to be. Self-reflection is a game changer. It helps you assess where you are and what you want to achieve without worrying about anyone else's life. Take time every day to acknowledge how far you have come and celebrate the little victories along the way. Instead of focusing on what others are doing or achieving, look around at what's already in your life. Your relationships, your experiences, your opportunities, these are all things that have brought you joy and growth. Be grateful for the things that make your life unique and valuable. Gratitude is the antidote to comparison. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. The more grateful you are, the less you feel the need to compete with others. You start realizing that there's more than enough happiness, success, and love to go around. Now, let's address something that can often hold us back from breaking free of comparison insecurity. When we compare ourselves, it's often because we feel like we are not good enough or that others have something we lack. But here's the truth. Your worth is not defined by anyone else. You are worthy because you exist, not because of your accomplishments or what others think of you. Everyone has insecurities, even the people who seem like they have it all together. The difference is how they handle them. Instead of letting their insecurities control their lives, they focus on what they can control. You have that same power. You get to decide whether to let insecurities dictate your actions or whether to let them fuel your growth. Remember, everyone's journey is different. Comparing your insecurities to someone else's successes is like comparing apples to oranges. It does not make sense. So stop comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's edited, perfect moments. Now let's talk about self-compassion. It's one of the most important tools you can use to combat the negative effects of comparison. We are often our harshest critics. When things go wrong or we feel like we are falling behind, we are quick to blame ourselves. But what if we treated ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a friend? Imagine you are talking to someone you care about and they express that they feel like they are failing. You would not say, "Yeah, you are right, you are behind." No, you should encourage them. You should remind them of their strengths and their progress. You should support them through their struggles. Start doing that for yourself. When you fail or when things do not go as planned, be kind to yourself. Remind yourself that setbacks are a part of the process, not the end of the road. This compassion will allow you to bounce back stronger, more determined, and more at peace with yourself. Next, let's talk about setting your own standards. The world will try to tell you what success should look like. Social media, celebrities, influencers, they all sell you a version of success. But here's the truth, success is personal. What success looks like for you is different from what it looks like for someone else. Do not let someone else's idea of success define your life. Take time to think about what success means to you. Is it financial freedom? Is it fulfilling relationships? Is it personal growth or contributing to a cause that's close to your heart? Define success on your own terms and let that be your guiding star. By creating your own standards, you can stop measuring your success against others. You will realize that as long as you are moving toward your own goals, you are on the right path. And finally, let's talk about self-acceptance. This is the most important part of the journey. The moment you accept your self-flaws and all you stop needing to compare yourself to anyone, you stop seeking validation from others. You stop measuring your worth by someone else's achievements. Self-acceptance is about embracing who you are at this very moment. It's about recognizing that you are enough and that you do not need to change to be worthy of love, respect, or success. you are already whole. When you truly accept yourself, you will find peace. You would realize that your journey is yours and you do not need to compare it to anyone else's to feel fulfilled. Celebrate where you are today and know that your story is beautiful just as it is. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are enough, just as you are. Keep going, keep growing, and do not forget to love yourself along the way. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And remember, stop comparing. Start living.